Yes, sir. Welcome to Under the Hood Sports. I'm your host with the most, Johnny Hill. Hey, man, and if you don't know me, you really should know me. Hey, and I got a special guest right here, man. And you really should know her. She really is on the come up and she's really doing her thing. She also is in the journalism, man. And she's really up next, man. Her name is Nia Harris. Nia, how are you doing today?
I'm good today. Thank you for having me on your show, Johnny.
Oh yeah, it's my privilege. I got the opportunity to really connect with Nia, really talk to her over the phone, and she's a real solid person. And also, she is really up next, man. When I tell you, she's really doing her thing. But we're just gonna talk about you, your journey, how you got to where you at right now, and how you doing what you're doing, and really what made you want to be a journalist. So let's go ahead. Let's dive deep. Okay, Neil, you from Memphis? Am I correct? You from Memphis?
Yeah, Memphis. I'm from Memphis.
Okay, for sure. Okay, growing up in Memphis, there's dozen of other things to do. You know what I'm saying? There's other things to do, but why did you want to be a journalist? Why you wanted to take that route?
So sports was always kind of in the picture. Growing up, I used to watch sports with my dad and my sister, so it was like I was always watching it. And then in about second grade, I started playing soccer. So sports was always around, and I didn't really start like taking it serious in the journalism perspective until about 12th grade year of high school, getting ready for college. And it's like, all right, what do I want to major in? What would I like to do next with this upcoming phase in my life? So I started to kind of jot down what I was good at. I was really good at writing. I had got writing awards in high school, and I was playing sports. I was playing soccer. And I always loved Kobe Bryant growing up. Kobe Bryant was like,
Yeah.
if anyone knows, they know that Kobe Bryant has always been a big role model in my life. I was always debating sports. I was always talking about sports. So it was like, okay, writing, sports. And I grew up in the church. So, being in front of people, being in front of the crowd, I had that charisma of knowing how to, be in front of an audience. So I took all of these qualities and I was like, what would you like to do with all of that? So sports broadcasting, that's kind of how it came about with me choosing that as my career path. And everything has been like just showing that I chose the right career path with sports broadcasting. So that's kind of how it started off.
Okay. Neil, what high school did you go to? What high school did you go to?
So I went to Ridgeway. I was a road runner.
Okay, you feel okay, okay, okay. For sure. After graduating Ridgeway, what made you want to go to Clark University? What made you want to go to HBCU? We a lot of people hear about going to HBCU, but like, how was it? How was your HBCU, experience? How was your experience there?
So I'm the youngest out of five
Yeah.
sisters, four older sisters, and two of them went to Clark. So I used to always go and like visit them
Mhm.
in Atlanta, Georgia, and I used to always like go on the campus and see like the different things that was going on at Clark. And I really loved when I used to go on the campus at Clark. So I applied to Clark and I got accepted there. And one thing about an HBCU, I would say, is I just love the community that an
Mhm.
HBCU brought to me. It was like a lot of black excellence. Like I got to see a lot of people that looked like me, but they were striving and being successful in different, career paths or whatever you may say. And I just really loved how the professors they care, they would stay and talk with you, they would stay and work with you. Like they made sure that you were successful in whatever your endeavors were, and just being a part of like different clubs and organizations. I also at Clark, I was Miss Memphis, so I was able to bring, yes, I was able to bring some of home at a HBCU. And that's another thing that I love about HBCUs is they let you highlight where you came from, and you get to see, like, you get to meet a lot of different people from all over the world. and you just share like this. I don't even know how to really explain it, but it's like this certain connection
Yeah.
that you get at HBCU that I just really love that feeling. So it's an experience that I'm very appreciative of, and I'm very glad that I got to attend the HBCU.
What let's talk about journalism program. How was their journalism program and your peers you had there and also your professors? How was they at Clark?
So at Clark, you had like two big schools at Clark, like major schools
Yeah.
that like the business school, and then it was the mass media arts school, and I was a part of the mass media arts school and mass media arts and communications. And there I was able to join, like I said, I joined a lot of like clubs and organizations. So I joined, it was this club called WSTU Radio, and I was able to do both the radio and I did like sideline coverage. So it first started off with me just like joining the club and then being on the radio station. I was like, well, I would love to do more so on camera work.
Mhm.
So they created like a YouTube channel and they allowed me to go and cover the game. So I was able to do reporting live with the players and athletes, like after the games, before the games, get interviews with the coaches, and like create content with the athletes there. And then I also was able to do radio where I brought them to the radio station and we kind of dived into their world of sports and also like kind of what you like to do,
Mhm.
look at them more than an athlete. Like, what do you love about playing the sport, but how are you as a person as well? So I was able to, Clark gave me that first like real experience of being like a reporter, I would say, because I was able to kind of strengthen my skills while being in the radio station and doing on camera reporting as well.
For sure. Man, that's really cool. Okay, let me walk with me right quick. Okay, let's transition from
All
Clark.
right.
You went to Atlanta, and now you going to Cali. You went to USC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like how was that whole transition like? Cause you from Memphis, and then you went to Atlanta. Now you going up to the West Coast. How was that whole experience? How was that transition?
I would say the transition, I always knew I wanted to be in California first off,
Mhm.
because being a big Kobe Bryant fan, like I knew that Cali was always going to be in the work somewhere. But going all the way on the other side of the country, being away from home, like I can't just get in the car and drive to Memphis. Like I
Yeah.
have to get on a flight on a plane. So that was like a big like change, but it was something that I had been always wanting to happen. I always wanted to live in California. So transitioning from Memphis to Atlanta, I think Atlanta it led me like with my feet, a little bit. I knew what it was like being away from home. I
Mhm.
knew what it was like living by myself. So it was I kind of knew those things, but being all the way, in
Yeah.
Cali, it brought a whole I had to really be a grown up for real. So
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And also, like the culture wise, like let's talk about a little bit about that. How was the culture like? You going from the South and you in Cali. Like culture wise, was what did sometimes did you feel out of place or did you just feel like, man, this is just a little different? How'd you feel culture wise?
So first off, they don't got hot wing spots out in
No.
Cali. Like, yeah, like we do in Memphis. Like, you can go anywhere to get some hot wings in Memphis, but California only had American Deli. So that was about it. That was about it for me getting my hot wings, and I love wings. Like chicken is one of my favorite foods, so that was a major change for me. I was having to cook my own chicken wings if I really wanted them. So that, and then going from the change of Atlanta, Clark Atlanta University to USC, a HBCU to a PWI. So it was like a different change in the culture, I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me at USC. So I did have to kind of like get used to that. Standing out, sometimes I was the only black person in the classroom, just dealing. those different things. But it taught me how to, be um more diverse and just learning about other people's backgrounds and other people's communities. So it was something that I did appreciate because it was just more so like a learning aspect for me.
How was you, would you say, mentally at you was at during that time, like during the transition and really, really trying to get to, you going from a different spot. Like that's really hard. Like people don't understand that. Like how were you mentally during that time, like going from the south to the west coast?
I would say I'm a people's person, so it was never hard for me to like talk to people or make friends. Like I'm one of them people that I can get along with anybody. Like I'll jump in the conversation, like I'll hang out with like different people. So it wasn't more so hard to like make friends or anything. It was more so on like the understanding level, like people that understood what it was like being black in America, or being,
Yeah.
the only, like I was just saying, being the only black student in the classroom at time. So, I had friends. That was the easy part, like making friends and like being sociable. But that like personal level, like people understanding who I am and not just like a classmate or somebody just like in the room.
Hmm.
Um, that was kind of like different and something that I had to like learn, because there were times that I would say, um, I did feel alone at sometimes, but it kind of just made me like lock in more in what I was doing. Like it gave me more time to like get better at what I was doing and like just prove like I deserve to be in this room just like anybody else. Like, yes, I may be the only, person that looks like me here, but I'm here for a reason, and I'm gonna show you that I deserve to be here as well. So.
Man, that's real. That's very real. Nia, let's talk about the program in general. Like going because you went to Clark, their program, their journalism program and stuff like that. How was it going to USC, participating in their journalism program and being over there? How was it?
So at USC, you have the different schools. So I went to USC Annenberg School for Communications and Journalism. So I was able to join Annenberg Media. Annenberg Media is kind of like, in its own way, it's kind of like the the place that we did a lot of our reporting and stuff was like, it looked like a newsroom, like an actual newsroom. So I went from at Clark, where it was like small, compact, small rooms where they were working with what they had, to
Yeah,
I was place that it was bigger than most newsrooms in the country.
for sure.
So I was like I'm here. I need to make my time worth it. Like I'm going to join as many things as I can. So I joined the radio station. I was a host for the radio station, and I also joined their sports clubs, where I
Mhm.
was able to go to games, and I got to cover games. I got to do reporting. I got to do photography. I got to do videography. I even got to like anchor on TV shows. So like Annenberg had its own TV station and channel that would be broadcasted around the school, and people, not even just the school, like people in California, they know USC. So people
Yeah,
like were actually paying attention to what was going on with Annenberg Media. So many a times I got to actually go on the TV shows and like actually anchor
man.
with yeah, anchor with different other sports reporters about like USC sports and LA sports. And so it was very exciting and a great experience, I will say.
Okay, that's amazing. How did it feel during that time? Because you're in grad school and really having the opportunities, coming your way like that, like that. How did it feel during that moment in time?
I will say, like, you know, it's certain things like you don't know how much like resources will really take things to a whole nother level. Like you know it, but you don't really understand it and see it till
Yeah,
you're
yeah. Hmm.
you're actually like, you're actually using those resources. And I'm doing the comparison so people can see like going from HBCU, and I love my HBCU. Like they helped me prepare for USC. Like let's not get
Mm.
that wrong. Clark helped me prepare to go to USC. I was able to use my skills and my knowledge and what Clark taught me at USC. But I would say like resource wise, like it almost felt like everything you needed was literally at your fingertips at USC. Like anything that I could think of or think that I would need, like they had it available. And I wish that, more HBCUs and all that had those resources, because people that look like me, they would be able to utilize those resources and help them with their journeys. But it was, I don't even really know how to explain. It was like kind of like jaw dropping at times. Like, wow, like I could really just be like, okay, I need a clip from ESPN. Boom, there it is. I need to speak to this person. Boom, I got an interview with this person. Like the resources, it was out of this world. I was like, what? I can do all of this. I can have these interviews and talk with these people. So it was a whole nother different level.
That's amazing. That's cool. Um, yeah, let's talk a little bit about your career right now. Tell the audience what you're doing right now, and what you got going right now.
So right now I am a multimedia specialist for a sports center here in Memphis, and I'm over creating like content for them. So I do videography of like the games and photography. So you will see me out there with my camera. I'm getting videos and pictures and creating highlight clips and things that they will post on their social media platforms. So I'm all things media, because they actually didn't have media before me, and I'm like, what? Media is like such a big thing, so let's make this something. So I've been helping them create their social media platforms, and it's been nice. It's been really nice.
That's really cool. Nia, like a lot of people don't understand like the industry that we're in. We're still young here and still, of course, arising in this field. But there do come some ups and there do come some downs. So let's talk about those type of moments right now. What was a low moment in your young rising journalism career? It could be at Clark, USC, or right now that you have experienced. What is a low moment that you have faced?
I would say in our industry is very like competitive. You have to like know people. You have to make like that networking and
Mhm.
connections. So just like the transitions of the next job or what you're gonna do, and how will you make it to those dream jobs of working for a major sports network. Those can be like, I don't necessarily want to say like low moments, because it's all a part of the process. Like even if it wasn't sports, whatever the career path that people may be on, you're always going to have to find a way to that next level, to that next phase. But I will say, for me, it's just finding like how I'm going to get to that next level. And I would say it's more so with our career now, you can create your own opportunities, like what you're doing here with interviews and your highlights and putting it on social media. Those things help you be seen as well. So I would say the low moment, I guess, is like the waiting period of what's going to be next. Like I'm doing this, like what's going to come next, how am I going to get to that next level. So that's what I would say. It's just the waiting period of what's coming next.
Facts. I completely agree because them type of moments and you know this just like I know you feel like internally like man I'm qualified for this job. I work hard. And then a lot of people say you don't have enough experience. You know they say you don't have enough experience, and then it's like dang, I done all this, so that type of stuff don't mean nothing, you
Right.
know. so so like man, I'm back to square one. So like it can be very discouraging, and a lot of people don't understand like them moments won't last forever. you faith driven and I'm very faith driven as well. Like I know for a fact, like God always come through. So like he in moments like that, like he we gonna be where we need to be at the end of the day. So no matter what. So let's talk about the high moments because the high moments are way better than the low moments. So what have been
Yes.
a high moment in your young journalism career?
I would say one of the high moments that we actually kind of spoke about earlier was getting to interview Norm Nixon, a two-time NBA champion. I also was able to go and travel for what I do. With USC, they flew me out to New Orleans where I got to cover the HBCU Legacy Bowl, and I got to interview the top HBCU football players. That was really exciting. Like it was just like, wow, I didn't count. It was like, okay, I
Yeah,
didn't count them. I
no,
got the
for real.
I was thinking like, okay, that's only on TV where like your school fly you out and pay you, but that was like, okay, like this is nice. And just like making those connections, and I got to interview Doug Williams actually while I was out there, and he's one of the founders of the HBCU Legacy Bowl. So just getting to interview him and talk to him about how it's important to spotlight HBCU talent and bring awareness to what's going on at HBCUs, because not a lot of people know, but it's a lot of hidden talent and a lot of hidden gems at HBCUs. But if you bring that awareness, like people can see, more opportunities will come for those HBCU athletes. That's actually what I did my capstone on at USC was bringing awareness to the talent at HBCUs. And then, yeah, I got to go to Las Vegas and I got to cover the Pac-12 conference. So those are some highs. And then I would go back into even just like having my own sports brand, yes, Full Court Press, being able to, show my personality and, cover sports and, make people excited and happy, because that's why I started with sports broadcasts anyways, because watching like the Stephen A's and the Taylor Rooks and the Doris Burks and Shaq and Charles Barkley and Ernie and Kenny, like how they make me so happy and excited when I'm watching them. Like that's how I want people to feel when they're watching me report. I want them to get excited and get happy about sports. So
Man, that's truly amazing, and I agree with you on that. You mentioned a lot of great journalists, uh, a lot of great sports journalists. But who who your top five sports journalists that you look up to and you look like watching?
my top five, right now I would currently say Taylor Rooks is definitely one of my favorites,
Uh,
because like she's killing the game right now. Because I just love her way of storytelling, like the way
uh,
that she can like make you it seems like you just sitting there talking with her. She's very like personable, and I really love that about her storytelling. And I would say, of course, Stephen A. I love Stephen A. because of his personality and
yeah,
how he knows what he's talking about. And even if Stephen A. says something that's like out of the park, you're like, what? It's like the way that it's like the way that he just like
deliver.
has such a bold.
Yeah,
Yes, he has such a bold personality. I love that about him. And then I would say Doris Burke. She's been in the game for a long time, and just seeing how she's transitioned to now she's doing like the in game commentating. I remember when she would just be doing like the TV
sideline.
anchoring, but like
Yeah, and she used
yeah,
to be
so it
on
was
the
like
sideline too.
yeah, and just seeing like the transition with Doris Burke. That's three. Um Fourth, I like Maria Taylor as well. I think that she's a game changer. And I also like to follow like I love a diverse like
Mhm.
set of reporters to look at, because it's something that I believe that you can learn from everybody. Like,
Believe that.
it's something that you can be able to reach different audiences from, like the different reporters that you look at. And I really love Ernie. Like Ernie, that's what am I on for? I think Ernie is for. Ernie, with Shaq Charles and Kenny, like that's my favorite NBA show. But I think Ernie, he's a very good conversationalist. And he knows his stuff. Like, he can sit down and talk to you and tell you like the stats, but also like he has a good personality with like people. It's almost like
I
he
agree.
knows how to talk people in. So and then I would say for a reporter that was an athlete that has now changed to a reporter that started off as an athlete and is now a broadcaster. Um, it's a lot. I'm thinking about all of the different people that I watch. I kind of want to say my fifth top one would be Shaq. I
Yeah,
love the
like
I
Shaq.
love the I love the comical aspect of Shaq. I love how he can bring like the laughter to broadcasting, because some people can just like talk stats and um talk stats and talk, numbers and all that, but Shaq, he makes you laugh. He draws you in to like what he's saying. He's gonna bring those jokes in. So those are some of my top five.
For sure. I like Shaq. I also like Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, and
He's really
sorry.
he's
Club Station.
I like that boy, man. Then he from the South too. Like I like Shannon Sharp, and you can tell that he's from the South, like he where we at because how he talks. So, Nia, on Under the Hood Sports, we always talk goals. I feel like if you don't have goals, what are you doing with your life? Because you're just going, in a circle. So, what are three goals you got for yourself? It can be career wise, it can be life wise, anything. Like what three goals you got for yourself?
One of my main goals, I would say, is working for a major sports network. That's the dream, working for like an ESPN, So that's one of my main goals, getting a job or a career position at a major sports network. Secondly, I would say growing my own sports brand. We're in a world now where media and technology is taking over, just like you got your under the hood sports and
Yeah, yeah,
something, and then something that's blooming and growing, and
yeah.
you're doing a good job at this. So there's space for us to build our brands as well. So that's the second goal, building Nia's forecourt press.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the third goal for me, hmm, I'm trying to see, because I just said a lot of things that's sports related. Something that's not sports related. Um, I would say probably get outside more of just like sports, find another hobby other than sports, because I am very consumed in like sports, everything. But I would say a goal of mine is to find just like another hobby of something that I really enjoy doing. So that's probably like a year goal, that something I want to find during 2024. So
For sure. That's smooth. That is smooth. That is smooth. Also, Nia, well, we about to wrap up anyway, but go ahead, talk a little bit about. I forgot to even mention this about your own brand. Did you know what I'm saying? Your Nia Full Court. Go ahead, talk about it. Talk about it.
thank you, Johnny. So Nia Full Court Press is my sports brand where I talk about the latest and the greatest news in the sports world. I do just like different interviews or just sports highlights, and also now I've moved towards like videography and photography. So another branch of Nia's Full Court Press is just doing sports highlights, sports interviews, and photography for different athletes and all of that. So it's just the world. It's literally a world of sports. So it's a mix of everything. And stay tuned. I got a couple of things coming soon for Nia's Full Court Press. So make sure y'all follow Nia's Full Court Press.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we are here for it. Well, I'm Johnny here. This is Nia Harris, and we are out of here.